All right, market just closed. It's Tuesday. I'm sharing the SPY. My last video was on Sunday. So I was working with this big engulfing bearish candle. I thought we would continue lower. I thought it would actually continue on Monday. Monday was a bit of a sideways non-event day. I mean, we were lower, but not as significantly as I expected. But today we really did continue. Now, I did expect us to go all the way down to here. I still do. I didn't expect it in one day. I think that by the end of this week, we touch this ascending support on the SPY, which is 2.5% lower. So I still see that as the case. We look at the NASDAQ. It actually already touched perfectly ascending support. So it's kind of already done it. But I still think the SPY has to make its move. So yeah, the NASDAQ will probably also do another 2.5% drop, maybe even 3%, which will probably coincide with the low of this candle on the 26th. But that's not too significant, but it might just fit perfectly. So yeah, NASDAQ about there if the SPY does its move. The Dow also has about 2% until its ascending support. So I think that will also be the case. And finally, the Russell. Well, yeah, the ascending support 4%. It could do that actually. That could equate to about 2.5% on the SPY. Otherwise, about this zone here, previous support. Oh, sorry, previous resistance. Now a little support. So, but anyway, even if it gets there, it's kind of touching ascending. So basically, these four primary indices, I see them going lower to their what I call ascending support line, which is what I predicted for quite a few days ago. I mean, we've made quite a nice move higher, and now it's quite a nice move lower. I think it's about 10% we've made already from the peak. Okay, not yet 10%, maybe on the NASDAQ. Yeah. So, you know, everyone was very bullish over here as usual, and now all the talking heads are getting all bearish, saying maybe we go to the lows. It's funny how that works. And they always get away with it. But yeah, so that's what I see. It's kind of what I thought would happen. Let's see, maybe there is some sort of event that comes up. Ukraine, nuclear power plants, I don't know, Taiwan engaged in some escalation. But even geopolitics aside, it could be some monetary event, some financial event. But even if nothing major takes place, I still see this move lower. So let's look at the dollar. The dollar, nothing crazy so far, but it hasn't broken down. It's been just moving sideways in a bit of a chop, but I think the longer it stays in this upper range around 109, the more likely we just break out of 110 and run towards well, 120. I mean, it will take a while to get there, but basically that will be its 118, 120 is the next resistance point, 10% away. I don't know what that would mean for the euro, probably all the way back down to 90 or even lower. But anyway, I'm just going to stick with the dollar index for now. So let's see what happens. And that obviously coincides with the market, but also interest rates. So interest rates also, like the dollar, nothing crazy, but has not broken down. It's just continuing to grind higher, the 2-year being the stronger one as usual. I had a decent day yesterday compared to the others. The others had a sort of non-event day. It's a doji, nothing special, indecisive. So nothing much to report in terms of the yields or the dollar, just sort of sideways, but flagging up on the upper zones. It's really these indexes moving down, which I'm happy about because I lightened my position so much. I really want to get back in, but discipline is the key. So I mean, I nibbled very little today. I didn't buy much. I'll get into it in a bit, but just Barrick Gold and Goldfields, I just took a little bit of a position in Barrick, something I wanted to do for a while. But anyway, let's look at gold and silver. So gold, decent move lower. Silver obviously did a lot more. So yesterday, actually, it bounced quite nicely. I was just a bit worried that maybe we weren't going to move lower, but I'm quite happy that we had more continuation today. I mean, yesterday was kind of a non-event day, so in the end, everything sort of reversed and just closed where it opened. But today we closed at the low, pretty much. And I expect gold to go lower, all the way down to test 1700, maybe bounce around there, but then flush. And obviously we have the major support, which has been around for 3 years, 2.5 years. Very easy to identify, 1675, let's call it 1670. I expect we'll get there in a few days. We'll probably breach under it and there'll be some massive buying, bringing it back up above, probably 1680 or something. That happens quite a lot. But eventually, I think we will move lower if the macroeconomics don't change. If there's a close below 1670, I expect that will be the start of the flush lower. I don't want to get too much into what the support zones will be. I mean, obvious psychological number 1600, probably 1570 after that. I don't know, because there we're looking at March 2020 flush lows. So that's a bit of a special event. Let's see what happens. Let's see where we are there. Let's see where interest rates are there. Technicals will probably have to be thrown out the window. At this, if it gets around here, probably have to look at interest rates and elections, and other elements will come into the equation. But that's gold. I think we're a few days away from testing this all-time low, 2.5-year low. Silver, on the other hand, has reached its equivalent, I would say. Maybe we're 1 day away from, well, maybe it doesn't happen tomorrow. Maybe we have a bit of a bounce tomorrow, but I still think this week the markets go lower, right? 2% to SPY. That will easily equate to a 1.5% move lower in silver. So I think silver will test its low, its $18 low this week. It could even happen overnight. And, we've seen silver have crazy moves up and down. So I remember in March, I mean, I think I went over this in one of my prior videos. This was ridiculous, this move scared me. Now, I don't think we're going to get that kind of a move here, but we could go to test 17. Not this week, but, that's about 8% lower from where we are. So yeah, I think we'll test the $18 low in silver, and it'd be interesting to see what happens there actually. And I'm quite happy I trimmed my position, and I used to have SLV and I got rid of it on this move up here, and I was really hoping for a move lower. My plan was to put the proceeds of my SLV into silver miners instead, which means I don't need to I wouldn't need to put as much in the silver miners because they move more. Plus they could pay me a dividend. But anyway, that's my little play on silver. So I'm happy to see it go lower. And I actually want to flush, even though I own quite a few silver mines. It's just part of the thesis of trimming my position and buying back lower. So that's gold and silver, both weak, silver especially, silver at its lows. Let's look at the miners. This is quite interesting because normally the GDXJ would follow the same pattern as silver, but actually GDX has taken out its lows of, let's say, 2440, whereas, so it's at new lows. Look at that, incredible. And you'd expect GDXJ to be all the way down here or something in its chart, but actually it hasn't yet taken out its low. So that's quite interesting. I think it's also down to Newmont having gotten destroyed a few weeks ago. What was it, 2 weeks ago or something? But it can't just be that. But it's just interesting to see GXJ not as low as the GDX, but they're basically in the same area. They're testing their lows, closed at the low of day. So if the SPY goes down, as I think it will, GDX will have to take out its lows. And actually, this really is exactly what I thought might happen. The SPY, the Nasdaq had so much of a move down to go. you know, like 10% at least, 15%. And I knew that the miners would at that point go below their lows. So this isn't too surprising, but it's very exciting nonetheless, because I'm looking forward to buying some quality miners very cheap. So I was going to say there's no point in talking about where we go next, but actually there is a bit of a point because we're there now. So let's say GDXJ takes out 29. Next support, I need to clean up this chart actually at this point. Yeah, so 25. Well, next support will be about here. Don't want to be too precise. Let's say 28 to 27.50-ish. Let's say 27.50-ish, give or take 50 cents. Either way, you don't want to get too precise. General zone. And that's how much of a move from where we are. Yeah, 6%. It won't do that more than that in one day. Let's see. I look forward to see what happens tomorrow, the rest of the week. But the day the SPY goes down 2%, that'll be the day where I really will probably buy GDX and GDXJ, because I expect the SPY to and the Nasdaq, when it gets here, I will be buying GDX and GDXJ wherever it is, basically, for a nice sort of 5% move. I think it'll be oversold. Nasdaq will probably be down here, maybe even lower, whatever. There'll be a bit of a bounce. I like these little 5-7% moves in the GDXJ, and I'll be out, just in, out, make a couple $100 or a couple thousand max, just out. So I like to try that. But yeah, GDXJ and GDX, just the trend is your friend and it's lower. So 27.50, and then after that, we'll have to see. GDX though, having already breached its low, 23, next support. Yeah, about 4% away. And then after that, Jesus, it's hard to determine. 20. 20 would be how much of a move from 23? 12, that's a big move. Maybe we have a real market flush in our hands. Maybe this would have to mean the SPY testing its lows, maybe even breaking down lower. Let's talk about that when we get there. But I'm going to start nibbling into this. And if I see the SPY hitting its support, I'll start adding quite a hard position just for a nice strong bounce. And if I get it wrong, oh well, I'll hold, to be honest, because I'll be buying some quality stocks. Here's my portfolio. I added Barrick Gold today. I bought it at 1486/87, forgot which one. I saw it testing its lows. I thought, and I saw GDX where it was, GDXJ kind of on their lows. I thought, okay, let's just nibble a bit in. I want it to go lower. Next support is probably 14.0, whatever. I'll probably buy it 14.11 just to make sure I get it. So I bought some gold fields. I wanted to add to my position. I sold a bit too much of that. No, actually, I didn't sell that. I held it the whole time. I just never had enough of it. Well, anyway, if I do add, I'll be adding to the seniors, the most trustworthy ones, even though they make up the GDX and GDX is lower than GDXJ. I will still be adding many to my seniors, which is Gold Fields, MAG, Silver, Pan American, Wheaton, Barrick, Agnico, and Newmont. I'm also looking to maybe add Royal Gold, a nice royalty right at its lows. But again, depends on what's happening with the market. But I'm looking to buy some seniors early on, and then if the market really starts to tumble, then I'll start adding the more speculative juniors. I'm not going to go into all the stocks because they all follow the same pattern. I want to keep it slightly short today. All I bought was Barrick and some Goldfield at 824 or 5, actually closed below, but whatever. I did actually think it might go to 801, but not today. Let's see. I hope we continue lower tomorrow. We might have a small bounce. But this week, I think we go another 2% lower in the SPY or the NASDAQ. And let's see what happens. That will mean going lower in gold, silver, GDX, GDXJ. Let's see if there are flushes in the GDX, GDXJ in silver. It could be this week that we go to new lows on everything, maybe except gold. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed.